Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. I come to you today being inspired by another guy who was essentially the backbone of why I came to determine to reload the AK as I do. It's not new. I'm not smart enough to make up anything myself. I certainly stand on the backs of all those who have done these things for decades now. And his name is a regular guy with a regular guy firearms channel. I encourage you to check him out. I'll try to put a link down below. He's got some great rants. I think it's funny. Maybe that's because my military background is a 11 Bravo. But with that said, so why do I reload the AK the way I do? Essentially because of him. Well, we were lucky enough, or I think I was lucky enough to take a class with him more than a few years ago, and it was my first formal class having an AK the entire time. I was very fortunate through the instructors there at Tactical Response to have the ability to use a whole bunch of different AKs, from well-built AKs with SIG braces, pistols, AK pistols, all the way to Jim Fuller models over the span of the couple of days I was there for a rifle class. And although that wasn't the point of that, to teach me how to use an AK, that's what I wanted to do by taking that class, and I learned a lot out of it. A regular guy was there, and I saw him as a left-handed shooter use this technique when he was shooting right-handed, and I wanted to do that all the time. And it struck me because as someone with a Wing Chun background and recently some Eskrima, Arnis, Silat background, not as recently as I would like, it came to me like, why would that method work so well for me, and why could I show it to others and maybe encourage through its practice it could perhaps work well for them. It's an efficiency argument, and it really comes from something like this. So in arts that use this thrusting motion, whatever it may be, we get this idea of using these overhand and underhand strikes, and we come to this point where if we drop this, can we trust where we're using our fist, and can we go from this technique that has the magazine up to a technique that has the rounds up to the rounds down, and can we trust ourselves to learn those movements of strength? And of course we can through dry practice, and we can when it matters. So why do I think it matters for a right-handed shooter, particularly to try to use this method out of the get-go? Let's talk about it. This will not be another dry practice video. So, but what I do want to talk about is how I think it makes sense. As in, I attempted to explain it in my last description of the video, but let's talk about it directly. So, if I'm on target and I'm looking down and then my rifle is oriented the way it's supposed to be, and I'm out of rounds, I've hit that click and I've put it here. So why am I coming this way? Essentially, my argument is this takes less movement. I'm not looking to come out the top and then pronate my hand, which is to go palm down. Pronate my hand, turning inwards. I come straight up. I hit it just like I was striking with a knife. Someone's limb destruction, perhaps, is probably the most term that makes sense, probably to most people. And I'm going to place it in there. I'm going to lock that boy in, and then I'm going to pronate my hand again to get that charging handle down. I'm going to let that guy come forward. I'm going to complete the circle as the rifle comes up to rotate again, and I'm back on the rifle ready to go. And so if I place up my mag and we do it again, maybe it'll make sense. From here, bang, 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 click, dropping it, here, here, here. Bang, 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 bang. Right? And so I think my argument stems to a second side of that coin. And the second side is when we change shoulders. A regular guy was pointing this out in his last dry fire practice video. It was recently, just a few days ago. And I really like the idea of starting in this Pyscho method, right? This Pyscho method of rounds down as a right-handed shooter, because when I have to switch shoulders and literally just start using my rifle in a purely left-handed fashion and both eyes open, a red dot, I mean, we could talk about those kind of things, but that allows me to do that pretty easily. I did it very easily that weekend. I've done it easily since then. So all those things given, if I just switch to my left shoulder and I have to reload. So we've got this thing going down, down, down. I've run out here. So why is that better? It's already oriented for beer can. So I'm going up. I'm here. I'm here. And now anyone who's ever had to shoot a 249 or a 240 knows that you put the meat of the hand in, the thumb away. I'm here, and this circle gets completed, and I'm back on target shooting around that corner or whatever having to do left-shouldered and left-handed. So hopefully that makes sense. We'll get this guy back up. My empty mag reset. One more time. I'm shooting. I've had to break that shoulder. I've gone to my left shoulder, boom, 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 around my corner, whatever I'm having to do. I'm out of ammo. Cover, I'm ripping this thing out. I'm going to beer can, rounds up. Here, here. My hand is immediately able to come up, and I complete that circle and put it back on the shoulder and begin to get in the game again. So hopefully that makes sense to somebody. Release this mag. The argument is one of efficiency. One last time from this side. So I'm shooting. I'm out. I break it. I go to the Pyscho rounds down method. Push it in. My hand has to travel the least amount of difference. It has to pronate or supinate the least amount of distance. In this case, it's pronate. And the circle gets completed as I break off the charging handle. Put my sights back on target, start getting to business. And again, when we break to that other shoulder, I'm around this side of cover. I've broken from that spot, and I want to get on the other side of cover. So now I'm on the other side of cover, both eyes open, my red dot's good. Boom, I run out of rounds, break it off my shoulder, go down, get to that beer can method, rounds up, because I'm a right-handed shooter, and now I can actually see my chamber, my charging handle's on top. It's out, it's in. My hand immediately goes the shortest distance and circles, and I get back around that cover, not the same position I just left, but again, those are other arguments for other days. And we get back on target and do what we need to do. So that's my Pyscho and beer can explanation of why doing it left-handed or strong-sided versus non-dominant side, whatever you want to call it. So thanks, regular guy. Appreciate you teaching me that. And make sure you get to dry practice, fellas. It doesn't have to be every day. I say that because you're probably not going to do it. I've been guilty of that too. But you need at least 8-10 minutes every other day in your life. Remember, when you think carrying your pistol around, would you rather, if you were to ever have to draw it or manipulate it, would you rather the last time you did that 2 weeks ago or 2 days ago. You got to get your dry practice in, and it should be at least every other day. 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, or 2 days ago, you've drawn your pistol in a serious manner, or you've manipulated your rifle in a serious manner. You want that to be short amount of time as possible. All right, thanks for your time. This last part is actually for a friend of mine, John. You know who you are. They're on the left coast. But brother, I love you, and he's out there trying to preach a good word. And he wanted me to talk about grip, and we're going to talk about grip. So, John, we were talking through text. We were talking through text about this funny explanation I had about what was it when I meant elbows up. You've heard me teach that to classes and to students. It somehow missed the idea of the middle ground in which I tried to explain this. And hopefully I've done a good job. I've certainly seen a lot of my own students do it successfully. But with that in mind, let's talk about so what are we talking about grip when it comes to this isosceles type triangle? If we look down on the pistol, John was asking me about elbows up. So let me overemphasize the movement. So if I bring my elbows up without rotating my shoulders up, but if I rotate my shoulders up, you might be able to more easily see it, John. So rotating this up, brother, brings the top of my hands closer together, right? So without the pistol, if you're looking down on it, we've got this gap between my fingers, and I rotate my elbows up, just my elbows. We've created a more emphasized clamping force towards the lever of the action that's happening as it's trying to rotate back out of your hand. So we're clamping on that lever. And this may be for Glocks, or might be for other arguments for different weapons that have higher bore over hand, or whatever it is where the the slide action is happening much further up. The best example are 1911s. So I'm coming and I'm squeezing, and it's just a little bit. And I mean, heads up, if I feel like I really got to hold that side a little bit more steady, I just give it a little umph. And of course, that's happening anyway. When we're getting to it, my natural position is where you're seeing it. So John, hopefully that makes sense, and you can use that and maybe some of your own explanations. Somebody told me I'm not smart enough to do that on my own, but all right. Remember, folks, you got to dry practice, like we said, and if I can't convince you of the odds, let me convince you of the stakes. It's not the odds, it's the stakes. Carry your guns and dry practice. Thanks, fellas.